thoughts on Secrets of Dumbledore. Very concise. I'll go first. I thought the movie was it was better than the second. I thought it was on par with the first one or a little bit worse. I like that we kind of got we got more beasts in this one, which is what I was clamoring for after the second one. Definitely becoming more a Dumbledore Grindelwald story in the last in the last two movies. Was not a fan of how they just completely, this is spoilers by the way, they just completely got rid of what's her name? Tina, yeah. Not in the movie. That just she shows up, but other than that, not in the movie. That really, really annoyed me. And then you let me know that apparently she was the only one that spoke out against J.K. Rowling, which honestly I could see that probably having something to do with it. If not, then I just think that's a terrible way to write her character. I thought some of the action was good. I was kind of, the whole Credence storyline kind of just ends, and it just kind of okay, whatever. Like, and it was a return to a better movie from the second one. I thought Mads did a great job as Grindelwald. But again, I thought it was for me, I think it's probably worse than the first, but it's better than the second. So I'd have to go like in a ranking. I'd probably go like top to bottom. I go 1, 3, 2. But I'm excited to see if they make another one, because I think this was the first Wizarding World movie not to pass like a certain number or something. I think opening. So that should be interesting to see if it, if they continue with the story, if they stop. I kind of want them to continue, but I wouldn't be upset, I guess, if they stopped making them.
I felt very similar on things about the story and the movie itself as to you, but for me in like a ranking, I do think that this was way better than the second. I don't think anyone's questioning that, but I did find it stronger than the first movie, just because I feel like this had not a better story. I was just more interested in this story than the first one. But if you take that element out of it, like, yeah, I think in terms of competency in like filmmaking and, the actually being able to follow the story, yeah, I think it's like right on par with that one. I just enjoy the story with this more, and I really enjoy Jude Law as Dumbledore. On the Credence thing, like what you said, with that character kind of being wrapped up and kind of finished off, I really like that, actually. Not just for reasons that we'll talk about in a little bit, not just for the Ezra Miller of it all. But I just didn't really care for the character. And I know when you and I talked, everything aside again with Ezra Miller, I just really didn't care for his performance as the character in this movie. I haven't really cared for his performance as the character, or cared really for the character in any of these movies.
I got pretty annoyed. Whenever he showed up, I just got like annoyed.
Yeah.
Almost. It was weird.
And I liked what they did, because one of the biggest worries or criticisms was the whole idea of him being Dumbledore's brother, which doesn't make any sense. But I will say, benefit of the doubt, this we really don't know at this point. Like with the Harry Potter movies and books, we firmly knew that J.K. Rowling had everything down. The entire story was entirely mapped out from start to finish before the first book was even published. This could be the same thing. The mystery, because if you watch the Harry Potter movies and be like, well, that doesn't make any, what do you mean? What? That doesn't make any sense type of thing. And it's like, well, wait for the next movie. Well, looking back now, in 10 years, when someone watches these all back to back to back, they might be like, how is he his brother? And then, 30 minutes later, when they're now onto this movie, they'll be like, oh, okay, it was just he was just lying.
Yeah.
Whereas with us, it was 4 years of, what are they doing? This
Yeah.
doesn't even make, it doesn't track, So I will give it benefit of the doubt on that maybe that was planned out. If it wasn't planned out and it was just maybe a misstep on her or whoever in the writing process of thinking that might work, I thought that the pivot to it being Aberforth's son, I thought that was really good. If it was a pivot or if it was planned out, I enjoyed that because I really like Aberforth as a character. He really does not have much to do in the original series until the very end. So it was nice seeing a little bit more development, a little bit more background of him filled out. And I actually thought that Aberforth as a character was for me one of the strongest characters in this movie. And I think the dynamic that was the strongest for me was the relationship between and then the parallel between both sets of brothers in this, of Aberforth and Albus, being kind of cold to each other, but then warming up to each other at the end, and then Newt and Theseus, kind of having this thing where, they both liked the same girl. Now she's gone, where, how does that go from there? How does it kind of affect their relationship? We didn't really get much of that in this, but I did like seeing them bond and stuff, and hopefully we get to explore more of Newt and Theseus going forward. For me, I want to see, the continuing adventures of, like, and also Eulalie Hicks, Lolly. I thought was a great addition. I thought that she was fantastic in this. I thought she was a great addition to these films. But, like, I want to see another movie of, like, Jacob and Newt and Queenie and Lolly and them. But I also want to see another movie about Aberforth and Dumbledore and Grindelwald and stuff. But I don't know if those two things can keep being the same movie.
Right.
I feel like they need to make a decision where it's like, keep going with a Fantastic Beasts movie. Make a fourth movie about Newt.
The way the movie ends, it seems like they're just gonna go forth with Dumbledore. But that's
if I had to guess, that is I think what is gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think that we're gonna get the next movie, and see, it's tricky though, because how do you drop the Fantastic Beasts name? How do you?
Well, he already wrote the book, so it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, but I just mean from the names of the movies.
I don't know.
or do you just say, well, no, that was the Fantastic Beasts trilogy. Now here's the epic 2-part
finale of I guess
the Great Wizarding World Part 1 and 2 or something. I think you could totally do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's also kind of funny now, the more that I think about it. The way the title is Secrets of Dumbledore, and I was talking to you, and I was like, Dumbledore is always they talk to Albus and they just call him Dumbledore, like he's the only Dumbledore, like that's his name. And then the more I think about it, it's like, well, it's not. When I thought Secrets of Dumbledore, I was immediately thinking of Albus.
Yeah.
But it didn't occur to me to think of the name as a whole, or like his
I think
brother.
That helps with the misdirect.
Yeah, I think
you're
that,
like, oh, like in the trailers we were like, oh, Aberforth's in this.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, oh, no, he's like what he's really kind of more like what the movie's about. Because you could say, well, the secret was finally said out loud that, him and Grindelwald were in a relationship or whatever. But we as fans always knew that. Like, really the big secret of the Dumbledore family, well, also Ariana, we finally hear from Dumbledore to Newt everything that happened on screen finally. Not just the ambiguous, like, well, what is Kieran Hines? My brother sacrificed a lot of things on his rise to power, including her, and that's all we got in the original series. So I'm glad that we finally got the full story of it. But other than that, really, it's Aberforth and Credence, or Aurelius, whatever you want to call him. First of all, also, I don't know, how does he have the name Aurelius Dumbledore if he was taken away from Aberforth and Aberforth never knew him? I don't know. Did the woman?
There's some things that are just kind of left.
Yeah.
Open to the imagination.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Last thing I'll say real quick is, and you agree with this, I believe, or I know you agree with this because I think we agreed on this. But Dan Fogler continues to be the best part of these movies, and I hope he's in the next two. because he is very good in them. Shelley said, I thought Secrets of Dumbledore was better than the other two. I like the scenes with Dumbledore and Newt. I was upset about Tina's almost non-existent role. Yep, I'm with you on that bandwagon.
Mm-hmm. And then the last two things I'll say, I think that when he did the Cruciatus curse on Jacob, I get it because he's not Voldemort.
Voldemort's killing him.
Yeah, like Grindelwald's, he doesn't get
stupid
redeemed.
Muggle.
Yeah, he doesn't get redeemed, but he is, I would say, more redeemable than Voldemort.
Oh yeah, Voldemort.
So I get that he didn't just like ice him right in front of everybody. Yeah. Like if he was like, all right, I'm the president of the world now, like let me execute this man in front of everyone.
Yeah,
I get that would be a little graphic, but I just thought that there was some. I feel like he could have done something even darker there. Not that the Cruciatus curse isn't dark. But
what's the other one?
Imperio.
Which one? What is that?
That's
do?
the like you control, like they become like a puppet.
Oh yeah, I guess Cruciatus.
It wouldn't really do anything in that situation. That's the last thing on that, and then the last thing entirely, that Dumbledore is not pure of heart. The Chillin should not have bowed to him. I mean, I get what they were going for because it's like, fans are like, but he's Dumbledore. It's like, yeah, but I will say, and we did talk about this, you and I, like that. At least the Chillin did that, but then also, they wrote in the script that the Chillin did that, but then they also wrote in the script that Dumbledore acknowledges he's like, no, I am not like. And I guess what they're kind of going for is like, yeah, he isn't perfect, but he knows that he isn't perfect. He knows enough not to want these things. But that being said, if you are going to go forward with Newt, who I feel like gained a lot of goodwill with the fans and everything in this movie, like I always liked the character, but I really like the character after this film. I feel like that's a great way to be like, oh, this is the guy. This is the Harry Potter of this story. Because really, it's like, even in Harry Potter, who, in terms of the wizarding world, prior to, like, Order of the Phoenix, who are they? Who's going to take down Voldemort? Dumbledore, not Harry. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of the same thing here. It's like, yeah, well, Dumbledore's the one that's going to have to take him down, but really the hero of the story is Newt that we're following. I feel like if the Chillin bowed to him, it would be an even better way for us to endear ourselves to, because Newt also probably wouldn't have, he wouldn't have been like, oh, yeah, I'll be the president of the world. You know what I mean? He would probably be like, oh, that's very kind, but, no, or whatever. Yeah. But whatever. Yeah, so that is our thoughts on Secrets of Dumbledore.
Yeah.